I'm here at the best museum in the entire world. What's it all about? Let's dive in and find out. Hey guys, welcome back to Tampa Bay Diving. My name is Blake and I'm a professional recreational dive instructor and digital content creator. But today, I'm just a tourist and I'm at a spot where divers can really geek out when they're down here in the Florida Keys. We're at the History of Diving Museum in Isla Mirada, Florida, and I'm here with my good friend Julia. Julia, how you doing today?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yes, again. Thank you so much for inviting me over here to check out this museum. I've actually never been here before, and I can't wait to get in and take a look just from the lobby and your library here with these beautiful Mark V's. I am already impressed, and I can't wait. I might take a few books I saw I had my eye on.
Yep. Well, this one is a Mark V. That one's actually a completely different helmet, but you'll learn there's just hundreds of different types of diving helmets. We have probably over 100 in the exhibits themselves. And the biggest exhibit that we have is called the Parade of Nations. It's an assortment of 45 different diving helmets from 24 countries. So you're going to learn all about the variety that there has been just over the course of history leading up to the ones that the more iconic ones that we know.
I didn't know there were that many diving helmets.
We'll learn all about it in the museum.
So tell us a little bit about it. What are your hours of operations?
So we're open every day of the week, every day of the year, except Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day from 10 to 5.
Yeah, and so divers can come down when they're done diving or in between breaks, come take a tour of this place. What attracted you? What's your favorite thing in the exhibits?
Well, I first started coming to the museum as a visitor, just like you. I was a fresh scuba diver a few years ago, and I was coming down to the Florida Keys to do some diving, and I just stopped here on my way down to do some diving in Key West, and I was like, wow, this is a place I could spend every day for the rest of my life, and now I work here, so it kind of worked out. But probably my favorite... One of my favorite artifacts, which you'll see when you first come in, I call him the Barrel Man. It's an atmospheric diving suit, or sort of a semi-atmospheric one from 1715. And it's basically it's a big barrel full of air that you would put yourself into. Your arms would be free. You have a way to look out right here with a mask. And that was actually used for treasure salvage.
Wow.
Like 300 years ago in 1715. That's probably one of my favorite artifacts that we have. Is that reproduction?
I can't wait to see it. So we're out there just touring around in the lobby. I saw, you have a great collection of books for people to purchase, and I read Chamber Divers, and that really opened up like, wow, this is what they went through. So I'm sure we're going to see that and a whole lot more in the museum of the history of diving and how it's evolved. Do you have any recommendation of what else I should see when I'm in there?
Well, everything.
Everything.
Really, I mean, the museum is kind of laid out to start with a timeline. So you start in ancient history, thousands of years ago with the first breath hold divers, the very first diving bells, and kind of these first attempts that people were making to go deeper, stay longer. And that just evolves over the course of thousands of years. I would say one of the biggest milestones came in the 1800s. That's around the time we sort of settled on the diving helmet as the format for diving. The first commercially available diving helmet came around 1828. Now, the first functional diving helmet that we know of was actually made by Edmund Halley in 1692. So basically, it's like a bucket. It's just a bucket with an air hose stuck in it, and that's pretty much, we were like, diving helmets, that's where we're gonna settle, and we basically would use diving helmets for the next few centuries. And now we have Scuba, of course, but that really wasn't popularized until 1943. So you just have hundreds, thousands of years before Scuba was really on the scene, completely different methods that a lot of people probably aren't familiar with to dive.
So they figured out basically compressed air and water cannot occupy the same space at the same time.
Well, compressed air is a very, I would say, modern addition to diving. It came around the time, many people know the name Jacques Cousteau.
Yes.
So in the 1940s, Jacques Cousteau actually worked with a friend. His name was Emile Gagnon. He worked in the automotive industry, actually, on a car part. And this car part he created helped to light an engine. And it lit the engine by transferring gas from a high-pressure chamber to a low-pressure chamber. And Jacques Cousteau saw this car part, basically, and he said, you know, I have a similar problem, not to do with cars, but I'm trying to build a diving machine. So he and Emile worked together, and he adapted that technology, that pressure change technology, that regulator, into the aqualung. And they patented that together in 1942. It was released to the public a year later, and that changed diving forever, I would say. And that allowed us to really move away from that surface supply.
Probably wouldn't be here without them.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, but it really was a huge leap. But before that, we, of course, had our diving helmets that were totally independent of scuba. They had a surface supply, so they had basically a hose going up to the surface and someone pumping air down to you.
And we did that. That was...
Yeah, we did do that.
That was I told Sharky, that was one of the bucket list dives that I checked off. Now I've just got, what was it, Galapagos, the Sardine Run in South Africa, and the Truck Lagoon, and Iceland dive between the tectonic plates.
Oh, yeah, the Silfra.
Yes, so if I can reach out and touch 2 different continents, that'd be pretty cool. And I don't like being cold, but I'll do that dive.
And a dry suit will handle it for you.
Oh, yeah. So, and a heated vest. But I'm looking, you guys really have, I'm looking around the room here, guys, and I'll show you this. You have a lot of support from the community. I see paintings and donations everybody's made, and autographs, dedications to your founders right over there. People really love this place.
They do. And it's not just we rely a lot on our local community, our supporters, our sponsors, but there's people all over the world. I help run the social media, so I get to see comments from people all over the world who either have a connection to diving history, maybe someone in their family was a Navy diver, and it's just amazing to see kind of all the ways that we affect people's lives all over the world and in our community. But yeah, absolutely. We have community events every year. We work with school groups. They even have art in our exhibit once a year, Dive into Art, where we'll have actually students make artwork around a conservation theme. We're working with the Art Guild to create pieces for those exhibits, and we're always getting contributors, giving a piece of their own personal diving history or just coming in to support the museum. So.
I'm going to have to get my kiddos in on doing something like that. Yeah, this is just amazing. And talking with Sharky, he mentioned, a lot of the dive shops and operations around here help sponsor, but you get people from Europe, Asia.
Oh, yeah. And the local dive shops, sometimes we work with them. We do different events. We do a yearly event actually with the Jerry Garcia Foundation, because Jerry Garcia was a passionate scuba diver. So the foundation gives us his artwork in honor of that passion. He was also a very passionate about coral conservation. So we work with the Jerry Garcia Foundation to put on a concert in his honor every year. It's called Dive into Art and Music. So we have a cover band coming in playing his songs. We talk about Jerry's dedication to diving, his interest in that, and it's just we get to work with a huge diversity of different organizations, all centered around diving.
And I see Dan here.
Oh,
Dan,
yeah. Divers Alert Network. We actually have Dan Orr, the former president of Dan, coming in to do a talk with us in a couple weeks for our 20th anniversary exhibit opening.
We have a lot, and especially up in Tampa, we have a lot of families that are getting into it. I think they'd really enjoy that. And who knows, maybe they can take home one of these paintings, because I'm looking at that one. That would look great on my wall right there.
Well, that one's not for sale, but we do have some of Jerry Garcia's artwork on display here that is for sale, and some paintings from local artists in the gift shop as well.
And we'll show you that, guys. It's all beautiful, and the colors on this is amazing. It's something definitely, just having that around your house would be an awesome piece. I'm not an art guy, but I love this stuff.
Yep. So that's you can pan over that later, but that is a painting of Art McKee. So he is a treasure diver that is featured heavily in our exhibits. He kind of was active here in the Florida Keys as a treasure diver and a salver. from the 1930s on until the 50s. And he first would use his Mark V gear, so that suit that you had the pleasure of diving in was Sharky, but he would later switch to a Miami-made helmet. And he was well known for salvaging treasures, cannons, gold, silver from the 1733 Spanish fleet. So it's a fleet of 18 Spanish ships, and 17 out of those ships wrecked here in the Florida Keys.
And a lot of people don't know that, but yeah, up and down the coast of Florida, especially here in the Keys, these Spanish ships were carrying a ton of weight in gold.
Oh, yeah.
And got caught in hurricanes and other storms and ended up sinking. And the wrecks just spread.
Oh, yeah.
Especially over the storms. And people are still, I mean, you have to get salvaging rights now.
Yes, everything in the Florida Keys is a National Marine Sanctuary nowadays.
And everything, I believe everything they find goes back to museums or the country of origin.
I think there is probably some legal factors in there, but to my knowledge, I believe, yeah, it has to go through the federal government.
If there's any salvage lawyers out there, any experts in the legal field on that, feel free to drop it in the comments on what the requirements are. But yeah, I believe it's country of origin, federal government. It's a whole different something. It's a whole different ball game. You're gonna need a lawyer if you find anything. I would definitely report it to FWC first off. But yeah, the whole side, especially the East Coast side of Florida, is just littered, and still it's sitting. Just a lot of it's sitting down there. They recently, as of a year or two ago, I think they found a big fleet of gold that was just covered in growth.
Yeah, I believe it.
Man, this is just amazing, and I just want to thank you so much for inviting us in and showing everybody what you guys are all about, and we're going to definitely be back. And if people want to contribute, you are a 501(c), correct?
We are a nonprofit, so everything that comes into the museum goes back into community outreach, educational events, school programs, artifact preservation, and everything else that we do. We do take donations. We also really like having our members. So if you're a member here, you can come in 362 days of the year, and you'll get newsletter updates about our monthly talks, our different events. There's discounts in our gift shop as well for members. But yeah, there's a ton of different ways you can support us if you do want to, and we appreciate every bit of it.
Tampa Bay Diving will start doing that, definitely. Now, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how can they reach out to you guys?
So you can give the museum a call anytime from 10 to 5. Our number is 305-664-9737. We also have our website, divingmuseum.org. And if you do want to reach me, my name's Julia. I am the Community Relations Specialist. My email is programs@divingmuseum.org.
And everything we see on social media has your imprint on it?
Usually has my hand in it, yes.
Okay. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that tour of the museum. This is something we're definitely going to start sponsoring, especially like we do with the Coral Restoration Foundation. This place is just amazing. It blows you away from when you go in and see everything, even from the beginning of the museum lobby and in this library, which is just off of that. It's fascinating. I've been geeking out, and I'm going to come back definitely. Hopefully we can make it down to some of these events, but I'll gladly take the 5-6 hour drive from Tampa just to come down here and see this place again. So I hope you enjoyed this tour. Just remember, plan your dive and dive your plan. Julia?
And here at the History of Diving Museum, we say, don't drive by, dive in.
See you later, guys.